It's underdog weekend for both the Buffs and the Broncos. The Buffs headed back to TCU where it all started. And of course, the Denver Broncos at undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Al, can we get a win this weekend, man? Is there a win in store for either one of our teams this weekend?
Who's your favorite high school team? Because both of these teams are going to have troubles this weekend against two quality opponents. I think the Broncos have a better chance to win than the Buffs playing at TCU, where that explosive offense has just been putting up great numbers, and they just tend to understand and know how to play winning football. I think when we rolled in there a couple of years ago and got that win, it may have done something good for that entire program. I think it probably refocused them to look within and start just becoming a better program.
Well, it's interesting because that program at the time 2 years ago was coming off of playing for the national championship.
Yes.
Got beaten up pretty bad in the national championship game, but they were one of the top obviously 5 teams or so that year, 2 teams in the country, and they've been on a steady climb back, and I think they feel pretty good about where they are sitting at 3-1 with the quarterback and Josh Hoover, who is one of the leading, at least statistically, in the nation. So I expect this TCU team to be as good as advertised.
Yeah, and I think those 2 receivers that are putting up great numbers already with Dwyer and McAllister, I mean, those 2 guys, they look fantastic. They run the ball with 4 or 5 different runners. It's not one featured guy. And I think that's just been by design, because I think they don't necessarily believe in grinding it out with one guy. But I'm telling you, this fast break offense is something special.
Well, this team, as I mentioned, 3-1, put up some big numbers over the course of those 3 victories. Had a game in which their one loss against Arizona State, they could have won that one too. I think 27-24, the final score there. So this is a team that could have easily been undefeated coming into this game. Now, that said, again, the difference between a 3-1 TCU team and a CU team that's now sitting at 2-3, I don't think the gap is that big. It's the classic styles makes fights. So you got to approach this game almost exactly opposite the way TCU is approaching it.
Well, it's certainly after that performance against number 24 ranked BYU last week, we saw that the University of Colorado can step it up for an extended period of time. Can they finish is the only question. And so with that being said, you have a perfect opportunity to go out there and reestablish who you are as a football team, but it's going to be tougher this time. It's going to be tougher because the University of Colorado showed things last week that they really hadn't shown before. And now your competition has a chance to scout you and see what you did to put that game plan together, and they're going to be ready for it. So Pat Shurmur and the offense have to be equally creative with new things this week. And that's the challenge. And that's the beauty of being an offensive coordinator in college football, high school football, Pop Warner, and especially in the NFL, when you get to implement new game plans and make sure that your team is flush with plays.
That's where you get to show your chops as an offensive coordinator.
That's right.
Anticipating what the defense is now going to do, given those new wrinkles you put in a week ago, and being a step ahead of that.
Right.
Countering the shot that you anticipate coming at you, given the new wrinkles you put in your offense. So I hope CU is up to that challenge, because they're making TCU's defense defend things that they think they're going to see, and anticipating that. What's your counter move?
Yeah, and I think this week I hope we don't have any issues with clock management. It's been a big problem over Coach Prime's tenure at the University of Colorado. It really has been a sticking point that nobody's proud of. It feels like we have to be better at managing the clock and managing situations. Like we got to get that part done. I think the motivation that he brings with the kids is perfect, and the group of men that he has coaching around him are great. They're simply great. He's got to be better as a coach managing the game. I hope to see a better result in that category this week.
I think that's a fair criticism. And I also think that when you say, and I hadn't thought about this till you just said something, it's not very often you actually spark a thought, but
you're pretty wet-brained. Not a lot of fire up there.
But you said something about good teams. The difference between good and mediocre teams is the ability to finish, finding a way to win. And so when we say that, we think about what takes place in the game with the players, but also finding a way to win is how you manage the game late as well.
That's right.
And so I think just as CU at every position, particularly the quarterback position, we talk about the coordinators, have to figure out a way to be better down the stretch. It is also true with game management. That contributes as well to being a good team, finding ways to win late, making the right calls, pulling the right levers when it's all on the line, and a simple decision can be the difference between an L and a W. I look forward to see you being better in that capacity as well.
Yeah. And like I said, Hoover's going to have his opportunities. I think our pass rush is a lot better than advertised. I think we have ultra talent on the perimeter. It's just, how do we get those guys involved offensively? And on the defensive side of the ball, the weakest part of the University of Colorado's entire team this year has been the secondary.
Yeah.
So it's TCU's strength. It is Colorado's weakness, is the pass defense.
Now, this is an Alfred Williams game.
Yeah, I would love to play in this one.
Well, and I'm going to tell you why. You don't even know why, but I'm going to tell you why.
Well, it's probably because, you don't want the quarterback to get comfortable.
Well, here's the deal. It's the first game I think we would have played this year where you don't really have a dual threat quarterback. He's a guy who's going to drop back and he wants to throw the football.
Oh, I like that.
And so a guy like Arden Walker in that defensive rush doesn't necessarily have the dual responsibility that they have had really in every game so far this year. So it's an opportunity to pin your ears back. We'll see this week, I think, for the first time, get a good, clean look at how prolific our defensive front can be in rushing the pass.
Yeah, I think that you got to watch it, though. When you're playing a team like TCU in the Dallas metro area, bro, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot as hell. And, you need to get those guys off the field because if you're talking about pass rushing, and let's just say 70 times in a game, man, I'm telling you right now, that's like when we had to run that 1.5-mile test. You remember that test?
Don't bring up the 1.5-mile test. I feel about the 1.5-mile test the way you feel about the Jacksonville loss. I'm just saying. I'm just
fair, dude.
I just feel the same way. Don't bring it up, man.
Oh my goodness, gotta tell the story, CJ. Tell the story, man. Tell the 1.5-mile story, dog.
Hey, man. So at CU,
you want me to tell the story?
Hey, man, I'm a starter. You pick it up because
Okay.
This was the funniest shit in America. We had a 1.5-mile test coming back off of summer break. Everyone has
after playing for a national championship.
That's exactly right. So we're ready to go.
We're all seniors. We're all seniors. We had a senior-led team.
That's right, and we're feeling good. But we had this test. Coach Mack didn't play. We had the 1640s and the 1.5-mile test. Depending on your position group, determined how much time you had to make this test. So as seniors, we kind of roll up to it. And then the reality hits that, man, I have to run this 1.5 miles. Alfred Williams, everybody's All-American. Canavis McGee, everybody's All-American. The H boys, right? They decide that they're going to try and handle this.
No, I decided.
Oh, you're going to take full credit? This may have been the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life, man. They decided in a 1.5 miles. So a 1.5 miles is what? Six trips
laps,
around the damn
laps
track.
around the track.
They decided that strategically the best way to handle this, instead of just running the 6 laps as fast as you can to make the test, they were going to sprint the curves.
No, we're going to sprint the
straightaways and walk the curves. There couldn't have been a greater disaster in terms of an outcome for making a test in the history of the world.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable, man.
I'm going to tell you.
How'd that work out for you guys?
Well, listen, man, I was going to make it. I was gonna make it. I swear I was gonna make it. Canavers was not gonna make it. Canavers was not gonna make it. So I was like, here we go, man. Like, and by the way, do you know how the mile and a half? By the way, it's the first and only time during Coach Bill McCartney's tenure at the University of Colorado where they ran a mile and a half test.
Was that the first time we did
First and last time. Do you know why we ran the mile and a half test?
Why?
Because Coach Mack started getting into jogging. And he used to get up and go run. And so he figured that if you were in shape, you could run a mile and a half in whatever given time. So that's why we started running the damn mile and a half test, because him and Coach DiNardo and I think Coach Barnett were all part of the running group, and they felt like a mile and a half test should be nothing for guys that are in shape.
It's the worst idea in the history of coaching.
It was the worst idea, and you had all of these seniors. I think there was one senior who made it, John Bowman.
Well, Mike Pritchard's story.
Tell him Mike.
Love Mike, my guy,
love
man.
Mike Pritchard, man.
In fact, he was the team's MVP that year. Our senior year.
Yeah, man.
Mike Pritchard, incredible player. We had skill position players had to make the mile and a half in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. I'll never forget Mike coming around that final turn, and we were all at the finish line, and it was a countdown. Coach Mack is standing there with the stopwatch.
You were there because you knew you were going to make it back around for the mile.
No.
You didn't make it.
Flights. Oh, I made the mile and a half. I did not
make the mile and a half.
I made the mile and a half. Did not make the 1640.
You did not make the mile and a half.
Listen, bro. I made the mile and a half.
Dude, you did not make that damn mile and a half.
If it makes you feel better so that we can continue on with the story,
well, go
let's
ahead.
go
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, don't
but I
start
made
lying.
the damn mile and a half.
You did not make it, dog.
Anyway, listen, I did not decide to sprint or jog the straightaways. No, sprint the straightaways and walk the turns. That was the dumbest mistake.
Made a lot of sense to me.
That's the dumbest decision ever. Now, my man Mike Pritchard is coming around that final turn, and the whole team is just like trying to wheel him across the finish line, man. And Coach Mack is standing there with the finish line with the watch. And it was like, and we had 9:35, and it was like 9:32, 33, 34, 35, and Pritch dives across the finish line. He probably made it right at 9:36, and we tried to just overwhelm it. Mike, way to go with it. Yeah. Max said, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. Everybody just dispersed. Mike Pritchard is laying there on the ground, man.
Despondent.
Could barely breathe. He's I'm like, oh my God. And then he had Dawn Patrol. Dawn Patrol
we all had Dawn Patrol.
Y'all did. I had it for the 1640s. I could not make the 1640s.
Well, you probably had Dawn Patrol because of the 1640.
You just, misery
loves
I'm just
company, saying, dog. I'm just saying, but this was fantastic because it just goes to show you, like, we had a team full of all Americans. We had a team full of all Big 12 players. I mean, guys that were going to play on Sundays. And Coach Mack decided to do this dumbass test. And you know what? Since nobody made it, we all had to get up.
I made it.
And go to Dawn Patrol. Dawn Patrol is where you get up at like 5:30 and go do some exercise, some running, some left.
Yeah, I didn't do anything but eat donuts.
We didn't do shit. I'm telling you, when I tell you when we got out there, we didn't do shit. Okay, because I mean, you got Jeff Madden, Mad Dog, got all of these guys: Eric Bieniemy, Canavis McGee, Mike Pritchard, Charles Johnson, Vanderpool. You got Joe Steve,
Greg Thomas,
right. Gary Howell. I mean, you name it. If it was a big person or that was on that team, they were at Dawn Patrol.
Yeah, the big.
So
backs.
how are they really going to punish us for something that we have never really done?
It's called the official term for big guys is big backs now.
The wide backs.
The wide backs. Big backs
man.
didn't
the
make
wide
it.
backs.
Hey,
none of the wide backs made it.
None of the wide backs made it. By the way, EB was a wide back too. He was just a short wide back. Return to let's get back to game real quick, because I do think, and Coach Prime addressed this earlier this week, but his thoughts on returning back to TCU where it all began for his tenure. Here's what Coach had to say.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can't live in the past. The past is the past. We're going to leave that there. We're coming off a tough game, and we want to go in there and get back to where we know we're supposed to be. We feel like we have a pretty darn good football team, even though the record don't display that. 2 games to ranked opponents by 10 points in total makes us think, darn, we'll play here and play there. We get it going. TCU at that point in time and just come off, I think, playing the national championships, and we had so much fire and fanfare and athletes, bona fide dogs, and we went and did what we had to do. I'm pretty sure they understand what transpired there, but they're a whole different team, whole different understanding, whole different philosophies of how we both are attacking the game. But, both of us want to win, for sure.
And Al, the feeling going into this game, there are indeed some similarities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming off the national championship game, TCU, back when Coach Prime made his coaching debut, there was a feeling that CU wasn't up to the task.
Right.
Wasn't there.
This was his initial season when he said he was going to bring the Louis.
That's right.
And there was a lot of hype about what was going on at the University of Colorado. And then we got that win. It was
magical.
And it was like, do you believe?
Right.
Now do you believe?
Right.
And everybody believed. We got ranked into the top 25.
Well, we started season 3-0 that year.
Yeah, I know, but we were ranked in the top 25 after I think week 2 under Coach Prime. And it all fell apart eventually that year. But in general, though, that's a huge leap from being a team that had, I think, 1 win the year before to being a top 25 team the following season after a couple games. That's that may be the biggest jump I've ever seen.
Well, it was huge, no doubt about it, not just in terms of the record, but in terms of just the outlook of the program. This game, to me, feels similar in that we are a prohibitive underdog, but Coach Prime just he alluded to it there. And the question remains, are we a team that's on the brink of getting over the hump, losing those close games to top 25 teams? Or are we a team that's just good enough to lose to top 25 teams? And I think tomorrow when we play TCU, we'll say a lot about answering that question.
I really believe that, I hate doing this, but these guys are getting paid now, so fuck it, I'll do it. Caden Salters is not a primetime player at the quarterback position at Division I Power 4 level competition. He's just not right now. You know what I'm saying? He's just a guy that is trying to figure it out. He'll give you some good plays, but when the game is on the line, we've seen it now multiple times, he just does not make the big play when he needs to make the big play. And that is a character trait of quarterbacks. Either you can or you can't. And can you get better? Yes. But this is where the play caller has to be more magical. The play caller can't say, hey, we're going to go from 1 to 2 to 3. The play caller in that situation has to go, hey, we're going 1. You don't have it, pull it down and run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because I don't think this kid, we were sold that, because of his background and playing winning football at another school that he could transfer that over to the University of Colorado. Some of the things can transfer over, but in reality, we lost those games because our quarterback couldn't see the field, get it done. And that's just the bottom line.
Well,
you got to simplify the game plan, and it's almost Caden Salters is not going to play in the NFL. Okay,
no, he's not a Sunday guy.
He's not going to play in the NFL,
which has nothing to do with whether or not he can be an effective Saturday guy.
Listen, dog, I understand what you're saying,
well,
but I'm also saying that you don't have to save him. You don't have to say, hey, let's not put this guy on the perimeter. This guy belongs on the perimeter. This guy is a classic college football player. He runs with the football. That kid number 47 that we saw last weekend from BYU has a better chance of being an NFL type quarterback. You saw the throws that he made in the clutch of the game to get them first downs and to keep the clock moving at BYU. That kid was a freshman, and we had chances and opportunities, but a quarterback who you consider to be a good quarterback doesn't take a 30-yard fucking sack.
No, you don't take that sack.
Okay,
that was
dog. You don't take a 30-yard sack.
In the same game, he had a 60-yard run that was called back. I mean, you don't get credit for it ultimately, but we saw it happen on a holding call on a receiver.
You don't take a 30-yard quarterback sack, man.
CU doesn't need the offensive. The offense doesn't need to be magical. The play caller doesn't need to be magical. He need to be
in the clutch. He does
need to be methodical throughout the game, because the thing that CU has not made defenses do is no defense has had to compromise what they do to stop one thing. The methodical nature of what is the BYU,
one thing then? I mean, our one thing at CU, I'm not going to even lie. Our one thing at the University of Colorado, I know we love playing with 4 wide receivers on the field.
That's not the one. That's
the one thing that we do well at CU is run the football.
And that's what we have to do. That's being methodical and run it with the running backs and the quarterback
and the receivers.
That's exactly right. You have to, in order for Caden Soldiers to be a good college quarterback, doing the things that you would like and me would like to see him do.
He's getting paid a pretty good sum, right?
Look, man, stop.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, there was a time when I wouldn't say shit about a college player.
You could say what you want.
I mean, I wouldn't be harsh on them because, they were amateur athletes. These are semi-pros.
They're getting paid. They're
getting paid. So,
but the game doesn't.
I do
change.
believe this is like a big break from me and my past. In 25 years of broadcasting, I would shy away from saying anything about a kid that was playing at the amateur level, but it's not amateur anymore.
Well, your criticism and your analysis shouldn't be fueled by whether or not someone's getting paid.
Well, I'm just saying you can tell the truth now about, you don't have to put on white gloves and, treat it like it's so damn precious. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are getting paid. Hey,
you sound like you'd look.
I'm happy for him. But with that pay comes some responsibility. That's all I'm saying, bro. If you don't believe that, okay.
Can the Buffs win this game tomorrow?
I think they can, but I don't think they will. And I got TCU winning this football game, man. I got TCU winning the game at home. This is, like Coach Prime said that the BYU game last week was not a revenge game. Come on, man. Did that feel like a revenge game the way that game started?
Yes. It did feel like a revenge game the way it started.
It felt like a revenge game.
Just not enough petroleum in the tank to finish.
Right. We didn't have enough to finish. Did you see the offensive line pushing around BYU and making sure that they knew that they were in a dogfight? I thought that was awesome. Think about the way CU played against BYU last weekend, because TCU is going to bring that same kind of energy against the University of Colorado, and they will remember Coach Prime and his words when they went down there and embarrassed the Horned Frogs.
I don't think anyone gives a damn about that 2 years later.
But I do think people do.
I do think the key for success for CU, and it's not. There's no secret here. Is to just control the line of scrimmage. It's a time of possession game. Keep that TCU offense off the field. Don't turn the damn ball over, and be the best running team in this game, and make that the storyline of the game, and not TCU's very efficient, very effective passing game.
I got TCU winning the football game 37-24.
Okay. I'm not in the business of making predictions, though.
Sure you did. You made one last week.
And it was against. It was
That's why you don't do it. Because you suck at it.
Hey, man, let's get to the guys who really make money.
All right, let's do it.
All right, your Denver Broncos on the road at Philly. This is a really intriguing game to me, and I think it's an opportunity for the Denver Broncos. And where I find the most sort of confidence in the Broncos' ability, it happens to be on the defensive side of the ball. This is not a prolific Philadelphia offense right now. If you think about Philly, here's the crazy thing about it. Saquon Barkley doesn't have 300 yards total rushing yet in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Their leading receiver has, I think, 158 yards rushing, and that's Devonta Smith.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown is belly aching about not getting the looks and the offense.
He wants to rock.
This is classic Philly, yet they're 4-0. Yet they're one of what? Two teams in the league that's undefeated.
CJ, I don't know if you're going to find a team with more talent. I just don't believe that you're going to find a team with more talent than the Philadelphia Eagles.
I agree.
You know, I mean, the two wideouts are two true number ones.
Special.
Two true number ones. Okay. We don't have a receiver like one of their two number ones. Okay. True. Their quarterback is truly magical. He's always been magical. He's been able to make plays ever since he was at the University of Alabama and into his time and tenure at Oklahoma.
Yep.
And all he's done since he's been with the Eagles has won. This guy's been to 2 Super Bowls already.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, and they probably should have won the first one against the Chiefs if it wasn't for that pass interference call. Hey, but but I'm telling you, man, the quarterback, you know, people always talk about Jalen Hurts' numbers as a passer. And I don't care, you know. I think we won a Super Bowl with John Elway passing for 130-something yards.
Yeah.
Okay. You just need to make the play when you need to make the play.
That's right.
And Jalen Hurts knows how to finish. He knows how to finish. The Eagles know how to finish games. And you know what's crazy is, I don't know, maybe the audience knows the story, but Jalen Hurts really didn't pick up and celebrate with that Super Bowl trophy because he said, you know, we got more trophies to come. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your first Super Bowl win. I remember my first Super Bowl win. I thought it was great.
What'd you do?
Oh man, rode in a damn fire truck downtown Denver, man. It was great, man.
What'd you do that night after you got off the fire
Oh
truck?
my goodness. We went to the Denver Chop House and we had a fantastic meal. Oh, it was awesome.
What'd you do after the meal?
Well, I was married, so you kind of know.
That was before the. By the way, man, one day I got to tell the story of your wedding, man.
We don't need to do that.
I owe it to you all, the audience, to share this one day. I'm not going to do it today, but remind me. You all remind me to tell the story of when the big fella got married the first time. Epic. Okay. Nothing short of
let's
epic.
Move on.
Okay.
All right.
So, but I do think the Broncos defense. Philadelphia is a
great matchup, man.
Philadelphia is a team that knows how to win. We talk about finishing games. They know how to win.
Yes.
But they're not going to run away from you. You're almost always in the game. They're going to make the right play.
By design.
Okay, which means that you're in it.
Well, I'm just telling you, if you play the Philadelphia Eagles, you're not going to have 15 possessions, right? You're probably going to have more like 9 possessions,
right?
10 possessions,
right?
You know, because the clock is always running with them. You know what I'm saying? They're moving the ball. They're tush pushing and they're getting first downs and they bleed 6 and 7 and 8 minutes off the clock. And so in some, you know, don't be surprised if one team like the Eagles has 1 possession in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can stop that is by putting them in 3rd down and +4 situations. Because if it's 3rd down and 2, if it's 4th down and 1 or 2, they may just go for it. I don't know if we can hold up against that tush push.
If it's 3rd down and 4, they probably
I'm saying
looking
4th
at that.
down and 2.
I understand.
So,
you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you about the tush push. But even if it's 3rd and 4, regardless of where they are on the field, that might be a 2. They may be playing to get 4 yards on 2 plays.
That's right.
As opposed to trying to get
which means that the game is shortened. The offense won't have as many possessions. Therefore, the other team gets to stay in the game longer. But are they really in the game?
Right. Now, let me tell you this, man. I think one of the most embarrassing sort of revelations of the National Football League over this year is all the bitching and moaning and belly aching about the tush push. It's a football play.
It's a football play.
Right? It's a quarterback sneak with guys, you know, it's your strength against their strength. Stop me. I can't believe how, you know, owners voting and commentators, you know, crying about it. Just stop the damn play. And if you can, and by the way, I love what Philly did last week. They lined up, and this gives your defense even more problems. They lined up in the tush push
and
formation and ran a reverse with Saquon wide open for a touchdown. That's just creative offense, man.
Yeah, you just can't this is what I'm saying, man. You know, this is the way that really good football teams operate. And you know, if you ask me, okay, a team plays good defense and they run the ball versus a team that plays good defense and they throw the ball, who you have to win? I'm telling you almost all the time, I like the team that runs the ball with a good defense more than I like the team that passes the ball with a good defense.
No,
and the only reason I
totally
can say that with great confidence is Super Bowl 48, when we got our asses embarrassed by the Seattle Seahawks. And we had
Russell Wilson.
We had a whirlwind offense, the most points ever scored in the history of the NFL. That team produced the most points in the history of the NFL per game.
Yeah.
And one bad day with the quarterback, and you get your ass whooped, versus the Seattle Seahawks, who featured a fantastic young Russell Wilson who ran with the football. We had Golden Tate that ran with the football. You had Beast Mode that ran with the football, and it was a bludgeoning of some sorts, because they just kept on hitting you, and then they hit you with a switch route, and they run a pick, and Champ Bailey's out of position. It's not like it was a drop back, scan the defense, and, it's just very
methodical.
Yeah.
Not magical, just methodical. They did something great. They ran the ball.
I like teams like that. Philadelphia is like that. We tend to, throw the football, and we throw the football because that's the DNA of our head coach. And he gets to the run game after we get a win in the passing game. I don't believe that he's built to run the football. I've been saying this now this is his third year here in Denver. This is his third year here in Denver, and I've been saying it for 3 years. The guy just does not believe in a steady power run game. I think it bores the shit out of him. But I do believe he has a lot of his red zone offense is the best I've ever seen. Sean Payton's red zone offense is the best.
Why?
Because he has so many tricks, man. He's got so much offense. He's got stuff that he can pull out. I did a breakdown of Sean Payton last year when we were trying to figure out what and how they were going to use Bo Nix. And I think I saw like 65 touchdowns, and I don't think any two of them were the same. And I was like, damn, this guy's got a lot that's a lot of offense, man. The guy has a lot of red zone offense. In the middle of the field, that's when it gets kind of, I don't know who the hell he is in the middle of the field, but you get him in the red zone, that dude's going to scar your ass.
It's almost an embarrassment of riches in the middle of the field, where it's like a kid with a pocket full of money. You just spending it, don't know what you're doing. But when you get in the red zone and you really focus,
that's where he's good, man.
That's where he's good. Now, there's another storyline in this game. Obviously, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, your former head coach here with the Broncos, and Nick Fangio, and Bo Nix had something to say about the challenge before him this weekend.
I kind of feel like it's similar to watching VJs. I think they come from the same tree. They obviously rely heavily on their front seven. They do a good job of flowing to the ball, getting pressure without bringing blitzes, and they keep everything in front of them in the back end. And so it's going to be a challenge to find explosive plays, but at the same time, it's not getting bored, continue doing the same stuff over and over throughout the game. And, when it's there also, you got to be able to hit it. So they'll give us our opportunities. We got to hit it, but at the same time, we're going to have to work for them.
Who has the best defense in this game?
The Denver Broncos. Here's what I tell you about Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio was a cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 guy until his last year here in Denver. And he started to really unleash more pressures. Okay. And the pressures were good, bro. I mean, they were solid. And I was so happy to see it, because what pressures do is, doesn't mean that you bring one more than they have. it just means that your one now has to block my one. So, and Vance Joseph is great at this as well. But Vic Fangio has really turned it on. Not I don't know what Bo Nix is seeing where he's saying that he keeps it in front of him. Man, I've seen this guy really unleash it, CJ, and this has been part of the new wave Vic Fangio, and I'm happy to see it.
Go and answer the phone, man.
Yeah, let me see.
Just answer the damn phone. Goodness gracious, bro. Who is it?
It's Rodney.
Can you tell Rodney you talk to him when he get in town Sunday?
Listen, man, I'll see you Sunday. All right, see you.
All right, can we can we continue?
Hey, live podcast, baby. What can I say?
My man Rodney.
Yeah, but Vic Fangio's changed. He's changed. He's a changed man. And I think what's happened, I've been thinking about this actually. I think what happened is that Vic has always been on teams that had offenses that couldn't really put up points. But he did have an offense that could put up points in Miami, but they did it with the pass game, which could expose your defense if you get, once again, I told you, Miami, when Vic Fangio was there, it's rumored that he got fired from Philadelphia. I mean, from Miami and landed in Philadelphia because it was a lateral move. It was a lateral move. Mike McDaniels and Vic Fangio didn't see eye to eye. Vic Fangio goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, wins a damn Super Bowl.
Right.
Because of the way that they play football offensively, he can now be more aggressive defensively. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's great. You can't do a bend but don't break defense with an offense that's going 3 and out, bro.
That's right.
That's exactly right. And that's basically what happened in Miami. That's what happened here. And Vic Fangio, while he was here, was supposed to be with Gary
Kubiak.
Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak, and the way that this was supposed to work, and I think it would have been perfect. Vic Fangio as the head coach, Gary Kubiak comes back now after winning the Super Bowl, comes back to the Denver Broncos, and he's now just the offensive coordinator. Remember the stresses that he was having. He had some hospital visits while he was a head coach of the Denver Broncos, so he wouldn't have that same responsibility. Somebody in the front office did not want to have all of his assistants come back. So Gary Kubiak is rumored to have given the middle finger to the Denver Broncos. So that's how we ended up with these jokers. One of them is at TCU right now as an offensive coordinator. So the whole story of Vic Fangio here in Denver is it's a fascinating one.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fascinating because he never got the offensive coordinator. And see, what Vic was the defensive coordinator, head coach. This guy, Vic had never called plays from the sideline. You know what I'm saying? And he was a defensive coordinator calling plays from a sideline. Now that he's back up in the booth, man, this guy looks fantastic.
Turn it back up again.
Yeah, I really like him, by the way. I really like him.
I'm going to make a prediction that I'm sure is opposite the one you're going to make. The Denver Broncos are going to win this game this weekend.
I
got
want
the
that
Broncos.
to happen.
Well, I know what you want.
I want that to happen.
You don't have the balls to say it, but I'm going to say it for you.
Okay.
The Broncos are going to hand the Philadelphia Eagles their first loss of the season, and it's going to be by and large because this defense, Philly's offense, has just been good enough over the first 4 games to beat their opponents. This offense, as they are performing now, are not just good enough to get it done against the Denver Broncos. The only way the Broncos lose this game is if they turn the ball over more than 2 times. If they get in a situation where they're turning the ball over and giving that Philly offense unearned or earned possessions, that's it. But if it's a straight up game, VJ's defense, this Broncos defense, is going to pepper the hell out of Philadelphia, and they're going to win the game. It has to be. They can't let Philly get to 27 or even 24. If you keep them under 24, you win this game.
And as you will in most NFL games.
Yeah.
I'd like for that game plan to be implemented that you're just talking about. But it requires that you have to be patient with your game as well. And once again, I just can't wait to see this matchup. Like, we're talking about two giants on both sides of the ball calling plays, offensively for the Eagles, defensively for the Broncos, offensively for the Denver Broncos, defensively for the Eagles. I mean, you cannot find a better coaching matchup than what you're going to see here, because once again, Vic is a red zone guru. He is a red zone guru playing against Sean Payton, who is a red zone guru. Vic Fangio is a guy that likes to pressure now more than he has in the past. But VJ can't bring the pressure like he wants to, because he's got they have two dogs that will rip your ass apart.
Yeah.
I mean, they have two dogs at the wide receiver. And this is the part that I think that's going to be the difference maker. If you blitz and you leave one of your linebackers on Saquon Barkley one-on-one, night.
Good point. So you got the Philadelphia Eagles. I got the
Eagles. I got the Eagles winning this game in a close one. I got it 27-21.
Okay. All right. That's
27-21.
Now, before we get out of here, man, I want to take a point of personal privilege. I want to address something that's been hot in the news all week long. And it's been bothering me. I didn't know exactly how to address it. In fact, the way you handled it earlier this week, to some degree, didn't settle well with me. But I want to talk about what's happening in Cleveland with our former quarterback, University of Colorado, Shedeur Sanders. It is widely known, and we talk about ad nauseum, quarterback position being the most important on the field. It is also the most dependent position on the field. Now, when I say that, most people think it's dependent because you need an offensive line to block, you need receivers to catch the ball, and in order for you to have success, you need those things to happen. Very true, but it is also the most psychologically dependent position on the field. You take Shedeur Sanders. Here's a guy who was projected to be a top 10 pick in the draft. He falls to the fifth round of the NFL draft. He's drafted by a team whose owner came out and said shortly thereafter that they didn't really want to take him, but he was there, so they took him. He gets on the field. Now he's supposedly having an opportunity to prove himself. He gets almost no reps with second or first team offense. And now you're in a situation, most recently, where the starting quarterback, Joe Flacco, is completely ineffective. He started third string. He's probably suggesting or thinking that, okay, now I'm the second string quarterback. And as it turns out, when the depth chart comes out, Dillon Gabriel is first, Flacco is second, and Shedeur remains third on the depth chart. Here is what's happening with Shedeur. If you are a Shedeur fan, as I am, I want this young man to have all the success in the world. You should be rooting for Dillon Gabriel to have a great outing in his first start coming up this week and to do a decent job, because the last thing you want is for Shedeur Sanders to have to take the field in the psychological state that he's in right now. It is required for a quarterback to have the full faith and confidence of a whole organization in order for him to be successful. It doesn't exist in Cleveland. It's a setup that could impact his career for the rest of it if he's forced into action. I need Dillon Gabriel to play well. I need the Cleveland Browns to allow Shedeur out of there and for him to get a fresh start somewhere where from the very top of the organization all the way through the coaching staff, they believe in him. They don't in Cleveland for whatever reason. And if he's forced into action, it could be a death blow to his career. So I'm rooting for Dillon Gabriel for the purpose of saving Shedeur Sanders' career and perhaps allowing him to get somewhere where he can have some success. It's the one position in football and perhaps the one position in sports where in order to have any hope of being successful, the owner, the general manager, the coach, and the guys in that huddle have to have full faith and confidence in you. Without that, you have no chance. With it, you have a shot. It's no guarantee, but without it, I can guarantee you have no chance. That's what I wanted to say about this. I don't want to see this guy. We've seen it happen in sports before, but I don't want to see him thrown out there because he's not going to be successful under the circumstances.
I don't know. Hey, man, I saw a Thursday night football game where Mac Jones, a kid who was a first-round draft pick for the New England Patriots, thrown away. Literally.
Different circumstance.
Hold on now.
Completely different
hold on.
circumstance.
Literally thrown away by an organization in the New England Patriots. Thrown away, and now he's had a different change of atmosphere. He's around a coach that admires him and loves him.
That's exactly right.
And he is 3-0.
And it's what's required to have a team and a coach that loves and admires you. He's not getting that in Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying. So, but still, we don't know how he's going to perform. And maybe because
I can tell you how he's going to perform.
Like you said, from the top to the bottom, there's no love. It probably won't work. But that doesn't mean that he can't play.
Listen, Al, here's what I tell you. It's not like if he's still third, he's not getting first team reps in preparation for a game. He's not getting second team reps in preparation for a game. What we're asking this kid to do is the supernatural. You go out there and perform just like he had to in preseason without the benefit of having those reps. It requires that. We know he's not getting that, so it's not going to happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that Shedeur Sanders was handled properly in the NFL draft?
I think it was horrible. I absolutely think that there was a message being sent.
No.
There was no way.
His agent? Who was his agent?
I don't know, maybe his dad.
Okay.
I don't know who his agent was, but I saw him play football.
Yeah, listen, that's what I'm saying. See, the back channels of the NFL gives you an opportunity to have some in-depth conversations with different general managers and at times owners of franchise when you have a top 5 pick. I don't believe that the back channeling for Shedeur Sanders ever really happened the way it's supposed to.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
And I think that is where it could have been screwed up.
Well, do you think?
But to be a 5th round draft pick for
that's the
illustrious career that he had and his marksmanship as a quarterback,
it's offensive.
Should have been at the worst case scenario 3rd round. At the worst case scenario,
which to me would have still been offensive. But to be a 5th round, 144th in this draft, to me, was intentional. There was nothing about
that's
that.
What I'm saying. Natural. But that's why I say that he just wasn't handled properly. You know, I mean, we've seen this. We've seen this before. We've seen this where the agent does one thing or another, and a guy's career is absolutely turned on his head. And I believe it could have happened with Shedeur.
Name a quarterback where you've seen this happen in the draft that drastic. It's never happened.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady was no one. Tom Brady was a 6th round.
Tom Brady's dad represented him, and he fell to the 6th round.
I don't know that he fell to the 6th round.
No, I'm just kidding.
Was a 6th round.
I'm just making this up. His dad did not represent him.
Hey man, look,
his dad was a high school football coach.
Yeah, that's right. I needed to get that off my chest because I think the commentary around him. Oh,
I do like the comment. I like the way that you phrased your entire messaging, but I'm here to tell you. The head coach may be gone after this year. The next guy who comes in may make it an open competition.
The owner, he's heard what the owner said. We know where the general manager stands.
It's a clown show. Why would you even draft a guy? You know. Let me tell you the story. On the night that I was drafted,
you cried.
I did.
Because tell the people why you cried.
Because I did not know where fucking Cincinnati was on a map. And if you're 18 and you live in Houston, you probably don't know where Cincinnati is on a map. I was 21 years old.
It's 4 hours south of Detroit.
Listen, man, I was 21 years old and didn't know where Cincinnati was on a map.
Houston public school system.
Yeah, okay. And the University of Colorado as well. But it's not like it's in the Rust Belt. You know what I'm saying? It is industrial city, if you will. I mean, it's I never wanted to be there. I never wanted to be there.
But why did you cry?
And if I would have if I could have just slipped down to later in the draft or going to the 2nd round, I believe my career would have been different.
We had a great career, man.
I mean, but I think that, some organizations help. Some organizations hurt.
Point well taken. And with that, I'm going home, man. I don't want to see you anymore until after dark.
The Cleveland
tonight.
Browns, by the way, they've been hurting for its entire existence. The Ravens, by the way, who used to be the Cleveland Browns, have stepped it up.
Bernie Kosar and Brian Sipe, the two greatest quarterbacks in Cincinnati history, or the Cleveland Brown history. That should tell you all you need to know. Hey, the Big Al and CJ Show. Check us out on all your social media platforms, including Guerrilla Sports. We'll do it again next week. Go Buffs!
Go Buffs!